Your past life was one of the most magnificent and underprivileged, underappreciated workers in society, the people who dealt with all the crises, the firefighters, the nurses, the trauma surgeons, the people who were doing medical astrology, but in real life, okay? Nothing hypothetical, using your real bare hands to heal in the physical world was everything that Virgo in Ketu, okay, Ketu and Virgo, Ketu in the 6th house was a part of. And the world really depended on you. Without you, everything would fall apart. You were the number one that we went to when we needed a service done and done properly. Now, in this life, you're leaning towards Rahu in the 12th house, or Rahu in Pisces, okay? Rahu related to the North Node. And this is kind of starting to learn to let go, and let God. Realizing that you don't have to be the sole purpose for everyone's survival. Order equates to survival for you in your past life. If you had anything out of order when you were doing surgery and had a tight needle on somebody's carotid artery before they actually popped and burst a blood vessel, you would be responsible for that in your past life. And so it brings back a lot of nervous energy for you in this life. But Pisces is not the one who you want to be the surgeon. Pisces is the one with the cloudy and foggy mind. That confusion allows us to get closer to our most divine expression. And so one of the things you got to really notice and watch out for in this life is digestive issues, over caffeinating yourself, in mental fatigue, having muscle pains, cracked lips, letting you know that you're dehydrated. These things are going to be very detrimental for you. You're going to drink a lot more water in this life with the North Node in Pisces or the North Node in 12th house to help connect you to your emotional well-being. You cannot learn to, you got to learn not to dehydrate yourself. With that past life, okay, with the South Node in Virgo, South Node in 6th house, you were an earth-based energy, and earth needs and requires water in order to feel, so that you can get out of the mind and calm and settle the mind. Now, one of my tips and tricks for you is a Chinese medicine sound called ooh. So as I take a second, I want to have you take your hands on your belly and go inhale from the belly, and then go ooh, and breathe in while holding, and then ooh, once again, ooh. Doing this is an exercise that will help you as you exhale gray mist to let go of mistrust and let go of brooding over a moment, to let go of anxiety and worry that gets stored in the pancreas and the stomach from your South Node in Virgo, South Node in 6th house, things that you needed to do physically to take care of yourself. It's time to remember that in this life so that you can inhale. When you inhale, yellow mist, and yellow mist will link and relate to the solar plexus chakra. And it'll invite trust, it'll invite openness, okay? It'll invite justice and fairness, which is something that you want in this life. So what is Rahu in Pisces craving? What is the North Node in the 12th house craving in this life? It's craving for your mystical desires that you are unaware of and that you did not get to fulfill in your past life because you were always worried about the most critical and dire moment. That's what Virgo's job is. That's why it's so anxious. That's why it's so nervous. It's doing the most important job in society that doesn't get enough credit. And so as a part of this, Rahu in Pisces wants you to release the daily anxieties, because you're not going through a daily anxiety in this life when you have the North Node in Pisces, but you're going to feel so connected to serving people, and you're going to look at the world as they don't know how to operate without you. They don't know how to operate without your genius, without your service and healing abilities. And the reality is, it's just not true. Like, order in your past life equated to surviving, and it is that intense for Virgo. But order in this life is more guided and directed by God. It's a frequency that's more divine. It's outside of your control. You're actually learning to release control and realize that you have no control at all other than the amount of faith and meditation that you put in. So the ultimate peace in this life is trusting in a higher power. And what Ketu in Virgo, what a South Node in Virgo was asking for you to let go, is the illusion that the details and their importance go above and beyond all. Learning how to forgive and actually realize that there's no need in this life to overanalyze things, and as well as look at everybody else as for what's wrong with them. Nothing's wrong with everyone outside of you, but you may have that vision because you were the one that everybody, all the people in society will come and see. So your imagination a lot of times with the South Node in the 6th house or Ketu in the 6th house is really inflexible, okay? It's a crutch that keeps you stuck in bad situations. So again, check out our membership. We have a course on all this information. If you want to learn this more in depth, you're going to get about 2.5 hours or so of information, a whole class, a whole master class on this. So what you're here to develop in this life is learning how to release judgment, and understand that in your past life, judgment was something that really kept you alive and all the people around you. You were the number one source of hope, and you know, without you, it's like, what were we all going to do? We were going to die. And that's why in your past life, you know, you did the underappreciated service-based jobs, like being a firefighter, like being a cop. You know, no one really gets enough recognition for what they do and how they keep society safe and at bay from all the dangers that we go through. And your true desire is really to follow the perfect plan in this life. But again, you don't have to be a part of creating a perfect plan. That South Node in Virgo is like, I had to be a part of every integral element, step, brick, and detail for this plan to work and succeed. In this life, it's like, no, you're learning to follow the flawlessness of God's plan. And your illusion is that people are not perfect. And the reality is people are absolutely perfect the way they are, the way they were born. And so understand that, you know, your illusion is that that if you worry enough that it's going to somehow get you closer to production. But in reality, it's just keeping your mind busy. And you really don't want that, because what it's going to do is help you avoid things like healthy romances. Okay, in your past life, you really didn't have a lot of healthy romances. Like, you put so much priority, effort, and energy on the job that, you know, you thought about solving problems in every step of the way. But a relationship doesn't always require you to solve a problem, rather than for you to just be present and to listen. So learn how to flow without intervening, and learn that your true desire has to do with self-care in this life. Okay, really taking care of yourself, and learn that you need to have a defined goal, a defined purpose, but only so that you can manifest the dream, the mystical desires that went unfulfilled, because you fulfilled a lot of analytical and work-based society desires, but you never really dive into your imagination and discovered above and beyond this particular realm of reality what you really want and crave. So understand that your superpower, because of that past life, that Virgo in the 6th house, okay, was about, you know, duty and service, and learning how to do exact planning through Excel sheets, and you know, you learned how to you know, master the environment. But this life, you're being asked with the North Node in Pisces, North Node in the 12th house, to purify all of that cleansing aid and support that you gave to other people. It did a lot of damage to your nervous system. It made you very anxious, made you full of anxiety, full of worry, and that's why you check out the membership, and you're going to see different exercises to help us get that out of your physical body. Okay, you know, because material bondage was a big thing for your last life, and being bound to the material realm, being so stuck and being a part of the seams to the material and physical existence. And so, you know, some of the headlines that are here is learning how to leave the abuse behind, as well as learning to stop fixating on solving the problem and dealing with struggles with your freedom. You know, you feel so bound to all the bills that you have to pay, and all of the daily tasks, and the people that's in traffic bumping and beeping the horns. Learning how to release your role. Like, you had such an attachment to this earthly realm with, this is my role as a, you know, ... whatever it is, something service-based driven, something in the healer realms. Now, one of the next key themes that you got to really understand and focus on is realize how emotionally withdrawn you may have become because of your past lives, because being overly emotional in dire situations that required a medic, that required somebody to, you know, keep you alive when you were on the brink of death itself, you had to kind of cut and sever off the emotions. You had to amputate all of your feelings so that you can make the clean, clear-cut, logical decision. So to understand your mind from a logical standpoint, you need to really look at where's your Mercury in your particular natal chart, all right, at birth. And as well, and that's going to help you understand your mind and what your mind is geared towards as for the modalities of your healing and the modalities of your past life constraints and bondage. Look at your Mercury, because that's the ruler of Virgo. Now next, to understand how to accept the guidance that your life is here to bring you, you want to look towards your Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Pisces. So that will help you understand also what your future existence is guiding you towards, based off of what your past lives have already went through. And so Jupiter is that planet that you really want to get in tune with. But if you really want to reach the ultimate forms of God, which in this life with the North Node or Rahu in Pisces, okay, it's about Neptune, right? And so this Neptunian energy is the one that gets you the closest to relieving all the boundaries and barriers that your mind has constrained and bound and you to in a bondage type format, not allowing you to focus on the rest that you need to recover, the arts that are allowing you to heal from the imagination, from the metaphysical, from just dreaming and believing that there's more possible. So one of my affirmations I have for you is, life unravels beautifully when I nurture my inner calm. Life unravels beautifully when I nurture my inner calm. And the self-reflection question is, have I meditated today before interacting with others? Because in this life, you're here to really embrace, with the North Node in its 12th house, a lot of isolation, a lot of undoing the parts of yourself that has become overly anxious and worried and brooding over things that don't even exist in this particular life. And understand, another self-reflection question is, emotionally, do I feel connected to the divine? And if you don't, from an emotional level, from your heart level, your heart doesn't feel connected to God, and you don't see God within you, then it's time to go ahead and separate more from society and take some time on a retreat or an isolation or a monastery and just learn to meditate without outside noise and just with yourself. And so these are some of the things that I have for you. You know, mind you, check that Jupiter and check that Neptune and check that Mercury placement. Obviously, you could check out our course or our membership. You're going to get plenty of content. It's going to help you understand this more deeply. Hit the thumbs up on the likes button if you enjoyed and regulated with this. I want to say I love you. I appreciate you. This is one of the full series. We have all 12 zodiac signs. Check your house. If you have this North Node in Pisces, check your house to see what house that is, and check one of the videos that relates to it. 9th house would be Sagittarius, right? 8th house would be Scorpio, 7th house would be Libra, and so on. They correlate. So check that, so you get the North Node in Pisces along with the house, and you get a very clean and clear focus on how to add and combine the two together. I love you. I thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up and that likes button, and subscribe if you're brand new. Ciao.